Oh, I think I'm live. Okay, cool. Now to find what I'm missing. Right. Hello, if you're just joining me, if you're not here yet, just don't think there's anyone here yet. I'm going to be chilling, painting some Warhammer that I have just had in my backlog for a while. So if you're into that sort of thing, welcome. And we'll get started here in 1 second. Just pulling up the stream so that I can engage with people. Otherwise, I don't know who's talking, if anyone is. Yeah, if you are joining the stream and hanging out, please drop a like and say hi in the chat. I'll answer any questions if anybody has any. I'm just having a chill paint session right now. I got a huge backlog of Astra Militarum I want to get through, so I started painting this flag not too long ago. Earlier this week actually, and I wanted to kind of get back into it. No army men today. I got a ton of those in the backlog too, but I don't have any games scheduled with those, so I want to get this stuff kind of together so I can start playing some combat patrols with a gaming group that's local to me. So I started painting these guys over a year ago now, and I just sort of pick up where I can when I can, and I really like the paint scheme. It's largely just been done with a spray paint can, but going in and doing all the details, and then every time I come back to them I do like a little bit more, but doing all the details is taking me a while. They're incredibly detailed miniatures compared to even though they're bigger, the 132 Airfix stuff like this much just simpler in design. So comparatively, like, these guys just have so much more going on, and it's tinier too, so it's a slower going process overall. But as much as I love 132, I do want to get these Cadians done eventually, so it seemed like a good opportunity to just get to them. Yeah, and I'm not sure if this is the best time to go live. I just haven't gone live in a while, so if nobody shows up, it's just me talking to myself, which is fine too. But I'll leave it up to you guys in the comments. If anyone joins, you want to say hi or ask me any questions or just shoot the shit, I'm happy to chat with you. This guy has so much going on. So what I first need to do is like I need to identify some colors that I'm going to work on. I think I'm going to go back to the banner design for now, which I was making some pretty good progress on. Let me get in a bit closer here. I was making some pretty good progress on this prior to pausing on it. The back is not done, and it was glued to this flag bearer, but it broke off, so I need to properly glue it together with some Tamiya extra thin cement. But it's actually easier to paint it with it off of him, because I keep putting weird pressure on him and I don't want the plastic to snap. So it's kind of like a blessing in disguise. I bought these miniatures used and have been painting them up, and I bought custom base toppers for them, and they look pretty great. They're sort of like war-torn streets, so like the bases are something else I have to paint as well. For the most part, I have all of the troops primed and ready to go. It's pretty much the entire Cadia Stands box, which is, if you don't know, it's a starter box of Astra Militarum troops. So it comes with I think it came with 20 soldiers, and then a command group, and then I also have a unit of Death Corps of Krieg, and then it came with like 2 artillery squads and this pretty cool little walker that has like a little guy walking in, like he's driving it. So yeah, all this stuff is pretty much primed the same olive drab green from Vallejo, and it looks really great. I did an undercoat of bronze green, dark bronze green I think it was, and then the top layer like a zenithal prime of the olive drab on top, and it's got a great military gradient to it, and this feels like very like World War II-ish. So these guys all have a very grounded, real look to them. I love it. Here's a little guy. He's not off his base, but I have custom bases, 3D printed bases for these as well. So this guy just sort of sits on here. He's not glued. Nothing's like final and glued together, but for a base coat, it works really good. It's like automatically tabletop standard. Just getting their flesh painted and the little bit of spray painting went a long way. Show you the base real quick. This is the this base is actually it's like a dark gray. So some of the units have dark gray bases and some of them have like the camo green, but this will just sit on there like this when it's done, which looks pretty rad. So I guess this is like a rocket launcher. I'm like way out of step, and I'm pretty ignorant on the rules for these guys. I haven't played with them. Usually play Necrons, so there's also the learning curve of that, but I do love the way they look. I think I might, when these guys are all done, I might end up auctioning them off. We'll have to see how much I love them when they're all done. There's still a lot to do. So for the most part, I want to get back into painting this banner, this flag. And I was basically using blues and reds and some tans for the banner work here on the flag. And it looks like, oh no, okay, good. I want to make sure I'm not losing the stream. It's just a delay. I was using some oranges and some browns and just kind of getting in there and fleshing out like highlights and lowlights, and I didn't really get anywhere beyond that. Here's the back of what it looked like, just base coats. It looks pretty good. I like this color scheme a lot. It's very, very subdued and muted. So I think what I want to do is get back into just like finishing this up with some detailing. And in order to do that, I need the original colors I was working from. So I need, this is French Mirage Blue, Gory Red, and Flat Red for the highlights, and then just various browns. So nothing too crazy. And I have them over here. So I'm still here, I'm just over to the side. Kind of have everything in everything scattered about. I need to reorganize the office a bit. It's organized, but it's scattered about, so it's like everything's to the side. And there's painted miniatures and unpainted miniatures over here. All the paints are over here. And the desk, I have 2 desks on top of each other. And on top of doing the miniature painting, I also have a freelance business where I do graphic design, so I use this computer for that. And that's kind of like where I work. It's like kind of like dual station setup, which is fun. It's just, it's a little bit tricky to keep it all flowing sometimes, because I get like into one thing and I gotta shift focus. So I'm gonna get some sunset orange onto the palette here. It's already pretty well thinned, but I'm gonna add some water too. And I'm just going to see how this looks on these wings. But yeah, for the most part, this is going to be pretty chill. I'm going to be going back and forth a lot, probably just making decisions as I go. So yeah, if you're hanging out with me and you want to ask any questions or just say hi, please drop a hello in the chat. I'd love to see who's here. But it just was not planned. It's just like I had some time. It's like, oh, let me go live for a couple hours. I haven't done that in over a month at least. It's been a while. So if you're here, hang with me. I appreciate it. Or if you're watching this later, you can still feel free to drop questions in and I'll answer them when I see them. I do try to respond to everybody if the question is, polite. So I want to use this sunset orange just as a very light highlight. I've got enough base coats on here that I don't want to overwork anything anymore. I really want to start like making progress on this a bit better and calling it done a bit faster. The thing with painting Warhammer for me has always been that I overwork the miniatures to death. For some reason, when I'm painting army men, I'm much more I guess you'd say like I'm more easily satisfied, I guess. Something, I guess I for Warhammer miniatures I always feel like, oh, I could do a bit better. And then I overwork the figures, and then they end up like looking good, and then bad, and then somewhere in between, and then I get frustrated. But with the army man, I have a much easier time just saying, okay, it's done. But Warhammer, I feel like there's so many great references out there. I feel like, oh, I could push it further, I could push it further, and then every time I push it more, I end up hurting the final result. So that's, I think going into this painting session, I'm going to try and not overwork anything. That's going to be the goal. Just going to restart my video here. I want to get close to the camera as I can, but if I get too close, then there's like a shadow from the camera itself, and I start to not be able to see what I'm doing. I also need to bring this up a bit more. So I have a standing desk, and that is a real lifesaver because I cannot sit hunched over and paint. It destroys my neck. I also have to take breaks, so if you're watching in the chat, remind me to take a break. Let me know. I'm the kind of person who will just keep painting and like double down and fight through like any discomfort, which is really stupid. I really need to do better at taking breaks. I used to set a 15-minute timer, and because I'm live, I don't want that going off every 15 minutes, but I will keep an eye on the clock, and I'll just take like a break and maybe knock out some push-ups or do some stretches so that I keep myself loosey-goosey. I get like real tense and focused in and locked in, especially when I'm doing little paint details. I mean, it's so easy to injure yourself doing this. It's so silly to say, like, oh, you hurt yourself miniature painting. But yeah, I've had some crazy neck problems since I started doing this hobby, and they're better now that I've learned to regulate it a bit, but it's a real thing. If you don't take care of your posture and don't take breaks, and you got to stay, like, for me, I guess it's my ADHD. I get locked in real hard, and I'll forget to even drink. It's kind of like playing video games. If you've ever played video games for a long time, you just kind of want to get the next thing done, get the next achievement, or get the next level, or level up, or beat a boss, and you just put your basic needs aside. So I did go to the bathroom before starting though, so I should be good on that front. And I ate. That's the other thing, is that I'll jump into painting without eating first. Oop, I already made a mistake. And then that can be a real problem. So YouTube does a really bad job of like actively updating how many people are watching. I don't know. It says 3 are watching. I don't know if you're bots or people, but if you have the opportunity and can say hi in the chat, I'd love to see who's here. Love to chat with you, answer any questions, or I'll just keep rambling, I guess. Let me know how the audio is, if you can hear me okay too. That's important. I have the audio on my computer turned off, so I can't hear myself, the feedback. Cool. I don't know if you can hear that, but I live right near Philadelphia International Airport, like 10 miles from it, so I get a lot of low-flying traffic coming in overhead, and it can be pretty loud sometimes. So sorry if that plane is loud. I can't control it. I'm also very used to my dog just starting to bark uncontrollably whenever I do this because he thinks I'm talking to someone. And he's a dog, you don't know. So I'm just waiting for those barks to start. I think my wife is actually downstairs occupying his attention, so he hasn't noticed. And yeah, I'm planning to paint. I'm gonna try and paint till about 3 p.m. So in the past, the 2 hours usually just fly by. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it's already been 15 minutes, which is wild to me. This is the one thing I've done in my life that just flies by when I do it. The lives always seem to go fast. Also, what's really helpful is I have these glasses. They help for anything Warhammer related. The details are so much smaller. These are 2.75 magnification. Hey, Angel Off. How you doing, man? Thanks for checking out the stream, buddy. How's your day going? But look how big my eyes look when I wear these. So I usually tip them so I can like see normal. I have good vision, 20/20 vision, normally. So like this just destroys anything I'm looking at. But looking down is easy. So like good magnification here, normal view here. Kind of look like Chuck Schumer. Kind of get frustrated with myself with the zoom. Let me see if I can zoom in here without losing light. And that's good. Try to keep my thumb off it. I haven't had many opportunities to use this sunset orange before, and I'm liking the coverage overall. I mean, I do have a good brown base coat, so it's not too transparent, but it's covering pretty good. Warhammer is interesting because I always struggle with how to paint the figures because there's so many great examples out there. I go back and forth between like wanting to paint different ways that I've seen rather than just painting to paint and enjoying it. So I end up with models that are all painted a little different because I've tried to learn different techniques and I end up somewhere in between in the middle. And what typically happens is I end up just practicing the techniques and then rarely finishing a full like army. It's like it usually ends up one model or something. And that started to tell me that really I just enjoyed the act of painting rather than so much like painting armies and like playing the game is fine. Like the combat patrol is pretty good pretty good version of the game, but I've only played it a few times, and I've liked it, but it's just hard to really find the time to commit to playing a game because people are always working. So I'm usually painting because I'm by myself most of the time. My kid's in school, my wife's at work. And then I have my own freelance business, so I'm, working alone 90% of the time anyway, unless I'm on client calls or something. This looks pretty cool. Right. I think I'm going to move on from this for now. Check my timing here. I want to make sure I take a break. So in 9 minutes, I'm going to take a few minute break. I'm not going to actually go anywhere. I'm just going to give my eyes and shoulders a rest. I keep getting like scrunched up, It can be a detriment to your health if you're not paying attention to it. Oh, looks like I need to smooth out the banner. I wasn't really sure what I was doing with the banner for a bit, so maybe I'll tackle that after my break. Go back and smooth out the transitions of the banner because it's just like a lot of little lines. Little strokes, little dots. I find that it helps me to have the mantra of the think, like my mantra needs to be think miniature when I'm painting miniatures. My instinct can sometimes be to paint broadly, and that's fine for base applications and larger models, but for Warhammer especially, thinking about painting miniature makes a better end result, I think. So trying to keep the strokes small, trying to keep the paint like extra wet so it doesn't clump like it's starting to happen right there. I want to make sure I'm not pulling the paint off of the paintbrush. I want it to just flow almost effortlessly and not be too thick. Got 7 minutes here. Now what's funny is I took such a long break in between painting this from the last time that I forget what the exact undercut, like the other brown color I used was. I think it was light brown. I'm sure I've documented it, but it's probably in a video recording, and I'm using my phone now, so I can't necessarily go back and look at that without disrupting the feed. So I'm gonna maybe guess in a minute. Pretty sure that this dark brown is hull red or burnt red. I think it's burnt red, but it might be hull brown. They're very close. I know the reds for sure, and I know the blues. But the banner color, I'm gonna have to like reapproach it. I like the way it looks just flat like this, but it does really pop like this too. Let me look. I got a, well, is that it? I have a bronze brown. I don't think this is what I was using though. I had a light brown here. Is there red leather? This is sort of like the problem with having too much paint. Oh, where are we at? Yeah, here we go. Light brown. All right, cool. So yeah, just like a little bit of light brown in here will help this a little bit. Hey, Ronald McDonald. Good luck with your lessons, sir. Thanks for popping in, man. Appreciate it. Hope you've been well. Too much water there. Yeah, so what I'm going to do with this light brown is just going to try and smooth out some of this blending a bit. Yeah, that was the color I was using. Hooray, my memory worked. Still too wet. Getting the right consistency is key. And right now, my brush, everything's a little too wet. So I need a bit more paint on the palette. The light brown, these new Vallejo paints come out of the pot pretty well mixed. I've been very impressed with them. They don't really clump. All right, 3 minutes. I'm going to take a little paint break. If you're watching, if you want to take a little break with me, I'm gonna do some push-ups. You won't be able to see me, but I'm gonna do some push-ups and stretch my shoulders and neck. I encourage everyone to join me if you can, even if you're sitting at your desk. Give yourself a little stretch. It's looking pretty good. Can't quite see the detail. I can't make out on this flame if there's like an additional flame here. Oh, there it is, yeah. Cool. All right, break time. Looking decent. I mean, nothing looks good under camera. It all needs to be smoothed out a lot. All right, 2-minute break here. Got a beautiful day. It's still a little cold out. It's still a little bit chilly, but the The skies are blue. I have a window right in front of me overlooking the backyard. It's really nice. All right, be right back. Quick 20 push-ups. All right, what did I say? I said I was going to work on the banner next, right? So for that, I need I'm going to use some tan earth and some cream white. Woo, there we go. Tan earth. Excuse me, cream white. Ooh, doing push-ups always makes me burpy. Right here, let me see. Okay. All right, so let's do another 15 minutes here before another. Yeah, we'll do another 15, maybe 20. Take it to 147 or 150. Call it 150, like an 18-minute. All right. So my instinct here is to go back in. Now that I've let this dry a bit, I can see all the golds. The yellows need to be touched up a bit. They're still a little like semi-transparent. Looks bleh. Takes a while to get. The thing about painting is like these first passes, it's all about refining and refining and refining, and it takes a long time to get them like really smooth. And I just got it in my head that I want the banner to look like excellent, and in order to do that, got to spend a lot of time on it. But you don't want to overwork it either. So that's the challenge. It's a little too transparent. It's almost like a glaze. I need a bit thicker. Maybe I should put some music on. The thing is, with the royalty-free music, it's a little bit too repetitive. I feel like it drones on and on. Maybe I'll pause on that. I gotta think about it a bit more. Actually, I just remembered there's a channel. You know what though? I can't play it through my computer because then I'll hear myself double. Oh well, I'm just gonna keep going. Looking better. Cool. Try and look at the painting through the camera lens here. I get a much crisper image. Obviously, the camera lens is way better than the human eye, but I can start to see all the little mistakes a bit better. Start to add in a bit of this cream white. I can then start to build up a highlight. Not loving that coverage. Just gotta keep going. Don't want to overwork it. Don't overwork it. Sorry I'm not talking more. I'm just getting locked in on this. Which is where you want to be, I think. Zoned in. Hey John, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining, man. I'm glad I saw your text come through. Usually I miss the texts because they come through on my phone, but it popped right up. What's up, bud? Painting a little Warhammer banner. I think it kind of looks like shit, but I'm gonna keep going. I'm kind of in overworking it territory, which I was just saying I don't want to be in. But yeah, I'm just hanging out. Probably gonna stream for. I'm gonna take a break here in 5 minutes and do some more push-ups. The goal is to do 20 push-ups every 15 to 20 minutes. So I've done one so far. I've done one stop, well, like 20 push-ups so far, one break. Good way to keep the blood flowing keep from myself from standing still too long. Actually have to refresh the stream because it gives me inaccurate information. Like how many people are watching, it's never right. Hey Ronald McDonald, thanks for coming back, man. I'm just hanging out, dude. You're not really missing anything. I'm just chilling. My very good best friend John just joined the channel. He's hanging out with me too. Just watching me paint. It's like watching paint dry. Yeah, man, glad you're here. It's good to talk to you. I haven't been making it over to the Paul Knapp live streams. I just haven't had the time. Like 8 o'clocks on Tuesday nights have just been not working out for me. So I haven't talked to Paul since I did the podcast back in February. I also had a lot of life events happen all back to back, and I wasn't painting. I took almost a month off of like really painting. You can kind of see a gap in my video posting history, but I'm getting back into the swing of it now. Hey Death Soldier, how you doing, bud? Thanks for stopping by. Might take a break from this banner after after my next break here in a couple minutes and focus on some of these figures. Just get some. A lot of these. I have a lot of these guys. Here's the bearer, the standard bearer. He's just got his base coat, flesh tone, and armor down. So I need to go in and do like a bunch of base coats on the pouches and straps and the gun. So I might just switch over to that. It's a lot of base coating. It's very it's important, but it takes a while. How's everybody doing today? I want to try and do these more regularly. It's really hard to lock down a schedule with it because I never know what's going to happen with my day, with my work, like my work day. I try and schedule it as best I can, but stuff still comes up all the time. I think I'll be able to, go live and then it ends up not working out for whatever reason. But today worked out. Sometimes, though, I just don't feel like talking and I just want to paint and record so I can get the next video out. Who's toxic? Death Soldier. Someone in your life or me? Am I toxic? Will I make stop motions? Um, man, I don't know if I will. I've definitely tried it. I've tried it like on my own, and I just don't know like what I'm trying to what I'm trying to do with them whenever I sit down to practice. I'm like, what am I want to do? Like I don't have like a story that I want to tell or anything. And I don't really have the skills with After Effects to make it cool. Like I have such a have such like a high standard for what I consider to be good stop motion, even painting. But um, I like the idea of doing. I like the idea of doing some sort of a film. You know. But I don't know what I'm doing right now specifically with the miniatures. All right, it's break time. I'm gonna stop painting for a second. And in terms of like why do people be so toxic? Well, man, people are really good at getting in bad habits and not being self-critical or capable of self-evaluation, and they lean into those bad habits because they're comfortable, and that's what leads to the toxicity, whether it's masculine toxicity or people at work or just friends. Usually indicates that someone has a lot of growth and work to do on themselves, and it's really not anything that you can control because you can't control what other people do, right? Yeah, I've looked at other people's stop motion. Some of it's pretty entertaining. Uh, I also the other thing is I don't have enough painted yet. I don't know what to do. Like, I think what people expect me to is what people that might be expecting of me is to have like hundreds of painted miniatures like ready for a battle. But what I might actually have to do is something smaller scale. Also, I keep going back to it, and I don't like the scenery I have, the setup. So I've been looking at scale scenery, and it's also it's also awesome, but it's expensive, and I haven't made the investment in it yet. So it's like, oh, I could get like one building for like 45 bucks. It's like, or I could, get more things to paint. I mean, I do think it would be cool to do like a couple buildings and paint them up. I just haven't decided on like what to get. There's really cool stuff that I've seen, like resin, like French cottages and villages, or just like European buildings. I think would be really fun. I just haven't pulled the trigger on them yet. I was also like, oh, which scale should I get? Should I get 132 or 172? And then the other issue is like, where do I put it all? Like a sniper film, yeah, something small. That's what I was thinking. Thinking something like really like zoomed in, like personal. Uh, I'll think about it, man. I'll think about it. Maybe I'll try something. I have like I said, I have a very high standard for film, and I don't want to make something to make something, uh, and have it come out being like in my mind like corny. But if I can figure out a way to make something interesting and engaging, what I've done is a lot of storyboarding for it, uh, and I thought maybe a storyboard, like sharing the storyboards, could be cool, and like building out the stop animation from there would be something to do. I have a buddy who's a really good film director, and I was thinking about maybe getting him involved in sort of like a documentary, have him make a documentary about the what I'm doing. Like I thought that could be pretty cool. So I've also got a very large, like long time scale frame of mind for what I'm doing with the channel too. I'm hoping like in 5 years from now, it'll have evolved into more than just miniature painting, but maybe into like the film arena, like making like films. So with stories and whether they be documentary or scripted. So it is on my mind. I could make cardboard houses. You're right. Again, it just comes back to like, what do I want the standard to be? I definitely think people would like all different types of things, but I'm trying to think of a target market in mind that would kind of push it beyond just like bare bones production, like something that could be like something I would be really proud of. That's cool about your Ronald McDonald. Ronald McDonald. I think that's a lot of money for a figure, man. But if that's what you like to spend your money on, that's cool. That's okay, man. Good luck with your lesson, whatever that is. Like, yeah, I do agree with you. Starting somewhere is important. Hold on, I'm gonna do my push-ups real quick. I need to do my stretches. I just think I'm not ready to take it there yet. It's just also like I'm really enjoying the painting side of stuff. I also feel like I haven't really gotten the videos down for YouTube, like the long format videos. It's always my shorts do a lot better than my long format content, and it's just because I haven't really focused on it that much. I did a bunch of like creative tutorials with small dioramas to get me started. That was 2 years ago. I haven't really done many of them. Um, and it's really because I just seem to get better engagement and traction with the single figure miniatures, like showing people, you don't need to buy like expensive Warhammer stuff to get started painting. Sorry, now I'm slightly out of breath because I like banged out 20 push-ups. But yeah, man, the sky's the limit. I really do believe that. It's just you're right. It's just about getting started doing something. just looking here. I'll show you. I think the camera might switch off. There you go. There's my my painted miniature desk right now. Everything I kind of got in the works, what I've got available. Yeah, you can see that. Like, there's a lot of stuff, and then the whole office is just full. Can't really get the arm to swing without me being in it. It's like, I just have so much to do, so much like available to me. I'm like kind of overwhelmed with everything I've already started. That getting into these stop animation is like a whole another skill set. I'm not even good at this one thing yet. Yeah, I'll try a test, and I'll see if people like it. I think that would be a good idea. I'll do it as like a short. I'll do it just for you, Death Soldier. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'll try. I'll think about a little story. I'll make a little 30-second clip. It takes a long time to do 1 second from what I've seen to get it like really good, but I'll keep it simple. I'll keep that in the back of my mind, and I will try and do one. Alrighty. I'm going to use some of this tan earth so I don't waste it. I'm going to get into the back side here. Looks like I accidentally dropped this. I don't know why it looks like it's chipping. I don't know what's happening with that. Yeah, I don't even know what to start with. I know well, just from what I've seen from like professional movie makers, you can go up really high with it. Like, I think I've seen some people do, like crazy people doing like 24 frames. That's a lot. 16 is a lot too. Every time I try them, I end up bumping the camera and then getting frustrated with myself. I did download stop animation software though, and I just haven't really got like plugged into it and learned it, because I just spent a long time learning what's it called, Adobe Premiere. Like, it took me a long time to really get a handle for that, so I'm just been like using that exclusively lately, and the editor, the built-in YouTube editor. So it's like also just kind of giving myself a break from learning new software for a bit, which is just an excuse, which I don't love. But I think what would get me into the idea of doing it more is like just researching a like a story I want to tell. But it could just, you're right, it could just be something simple like firing, like making it look like a gun is firing. That's something I think about. I'm like, well, how do I do that? Because you can do it in After Effects with special effects, or I could go like the more creative, crafty route and make my own, like draw or print out my own fire effects and then have them attached to the gun barrel. And then these are the kinds of things where I just have to just try stuff, like you said, and stop thinking about it too much. But I did start a little bit with getting like, playing with the idea of giving some of the soldiers I've painted names and backstories in order to, build up a fictional universe in some way with that same intent, like to create some sort of story element. Yeah, Lego's crazy. Plush stuffing? Is that like a something you can just download like as an effect, or you have to buy a license? Do you know? So what time was that? That was 1:52. I took a break. Started painting again at 2. Say 2:20. I'll take another break. I think I'm going to end the stream at 2:20 though, because I think I'm going to want to go get something else to eat and drink and just get my eyes away from the miniatures for a bit. I'm feeling a little tired as I go through this. I think it might be a good day to get outside and get some sunshine. Go touch grass, you know what I mean? I also have some freelance work I need to get back into. Been putting it off. Thank you, brother. I love you too. Oh, plush stuffing. Like you mean like, oh, I understand what you mean. Like cotton, like actual stuff, like not an effect. Okay. I know what you mean now. I had to think about that. I don't know why I was in the After Effects mindset thinking about like that was like a plug-in or something. Yeah, plush stuffing. I know what you mean. Yeah, like Gunsmoke. Yeah, I could definitely try that. I could just try and ad lib something, improv, see what comes out. I have no idea. I've been watching a lot of videos in the past couple days with Steven Spielberg and how he used to direct, and he used to have lots of. He still does. He had lots of storyboards, and I just kept thinking to myself, yeah, it's like the right way to do it. It's like have every shot framed out before you go to film it. This way you have like a real tight editing, like a filming and editing process, and it's just in my head. It's like Steven Spielberg. I'm obviously not Steven Spielberg, but that's just like I have this idea in my head of like the right way to do it. That's the right way, but it's not the only way. Perfectionism can be really crippling sometimes. Scripts don't help? What do you mean by that? For stop motion, like Army Men stop motion, they don't help? back in frame here. Even in focus. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Scripts waste my imagination. Well, I mean, it guess depends on the story you're trying to tell. Improv can definitely lead to a better script. The other, so yeah, more to your point. It's like I wanted to get I want to get a better microphone, an external microphone. I shoot everything either on my Canon DSLR or my iPhone 14 Pro, and I don't have an external microphone, so everything usually ends up sounding kind of metallic or tinny or distant, just inconsistent. So like that's another thing. Like I could try doing a video without any talking and just do like that's the other sound effects, right? It's like okay, then you got to do sound effects, matching up all that. And it's not to say I'm not interested in it. It's just like it's another skill to learn. So there's a lot. There's a lot to do with it, and I'm largely focused on the painting right now. So it's like okay, if I'm going to do that, I have to remember I've got a lot of other stuff to learn. I'm sure I could probably skirt around it, like just like I do with the shorts videos where it's just a audio over top like a song. But for me, so much of great animation, stop animation, has great sound design. It's another thing to learn. It's another thing I'm very interested in. Just another thing to think about. Who are your favorite stop motion animators? Do you have any on YouTube that you'd recommend I check out? I've watched a few, and I've watched a few who teach how they do it. Some are incredible, especially the Lego people. The Lego, like how they get their animations so smooth, blows my mind. There's one guy who does it. I don't remember his channel name, but he makes a lot of like little battles, and he like does all his own animations. Like it's just so much stuff. All the post production work he does is crazy. Very impressive, and he obviously gets millions of views because he puts in the time. It's a craft. Okay, cool. I'll check those out. Plastic Apocalypse and Cube Emotion. I'm going to write that down. Plastic Apocalypse. Cube Motion. And Paper Thin Armor. I'll check them out. Are they all Army Men video stop animators? this back on here at some point. It's gonna look cool. The lazy artist in me wants to only do one side to high detail. All army men YouTubers. Yeah, there's a whole group of people that just do army men content, unpainted. Yeah, my 4-year-old son and me watch a lot of stop animation videos. It's a lot of like Transformers. He loves Transformers. So those guys are crazy good. Lumikin, he's an amazing stop motion animator. It's like there's so much detail, and he uses like the rig to keep, and like he removes the rig in post production. Lumikin, it's like a little snail. You ever watch those videos? The logo is a snail. I'm gonna switch over to flat brown here in a second and just paint up this guy to give myself a break from this flag. Angry Trooper Show. Okay, I'll add that one to the list. So I'm gonna use a bit of flat brown. That's what I've been using for this guy. I want to get back into fantasy painting because I've been just painting so much green and brown and tan. Yeah, honestly, using this sunset orange and this banner has been like the brightest color I've used in a while. Aside from like uniform green or like a bright uniform green. Back into goggles mode. Yeah, I have a lot of fantasy figures that are unpainted too, like in my backlog over here. There's so much. I told myself I would never get into painting military figures outside of fantasy. When I started miniature painting again, I was like, I don't see myself doing that. And then randomly painted army men, and that got me down this whole path. Started getting back into fantasy. 40K. And now I haven't touched any fantasy stuff in a long time. I also want to expand the YouTube audience too, outside of Army Men, into other, probably get into Warhammer too, because that's a big audience. I just don't want to be like just a one thing channel, because being one thing just bores me personally. I like a variety. It's the spice of life. It's hard to build a channel on variety though, because people love their niche channels. They love when people just do one thing. And that's fair, because you can always rely on them to do that one thing and to do it well. It's like a restaurant menu with too many items. It's like they're not going to do everything well. But the goal is to just be, I think just a creative channel with an emphasis on painting and scratch building and creative approaches to hobbying in general. Still trying to determine like an exact footing for the channel, if I'm being honest. Even though it has been largely one thing, I keep thinking about other things and doing and trying other things. There's a big group of people who just like Airfix. And some people just subscribe because they like the music I have in my shorts, which is cool too. Whatever people like is cool. For the most part. Oops, 220. All right. I'm going to paint this, and then I'm going to, because I loaded the brush, I'm just going to paint some of this a bit real quick, and then I'm going to do my push-ups. Here we go. Hey, how you doing, El Historiador Geográfico? Hola, ¿cómo está? I am doing well over here. I'm gonna take a break. You're gonna see me disappear while I bang out 20 push-ups. All right. Goodbye. All right. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I think I'm gonna duck out of here in like 10 minutes or so and just work on some things over here off camera. Probably take a walk, walk my dog, and enjoy the day a little bit. So if you stopped by and didn't say hi, thank you for doing so. And Death Soldier, it was awesome to talk to you. Ronald McDonald, if you're watching this back, thanks for stopping by. The big bucket of World War II Army men is pretty good. What is that? Is that like a product you can buy? I gotta look at this guy and see what I did brown. Shoulder pads. Boot covers, knee pads. Alright. Knee pads and boot covers. And then we're going to call it a day for this live stream. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to make myself an iced coffee. That sounds delicious. I didn't know you went anywhere, but nice to see you. A nice chill stream today. I hear my wife pitter-pattering around. Keep it in focus in camera, Jim. Honestly, one of the biggest hurdles, obstacles for me is keeping things in frame. Such seems like it would be such an obvious thing, but I get so focused in when I'm painting sometimes I don't check the screen. And then I'll go in. I've lost so much footage because I thought I was in frame and I was like way off here. It's like I can't make a video out of that. That can be very disheartening. Especially when it's like, that's why I have to take more breaks too. So I'll, go for 45 minutes at a time without looking at the camera. And then all my footage is out of frame or out of focus. I'm like, God damn it. Okay, and with that, I'll let this dry, come back to it. Oh, I missed this. Cool. Alrighty. 40 more to go. Yeah, I can show you some army men that are unpainted real quick. Let me clean up. Hold up. Green army men you want to see? So I have a oh, let me make some room. So one second. I have a I have this ammo cartridge box full of plastic army men. I'm gonna put it down here. I'll show you. Kind of show you what I got going on here. So I have like a desk underneath my desk. Whoa! I'll bring them up here. So that's primed. I have these really ugly army men. These are like modern day productions, like of just, I don't know what they're reproductions of, but they're really ugly. But I wanted to do a video on them, like, because I think they're so ugly. I'd like maybe show like how you can make these guys look cool painted. They're not exciting. So they're actually newer productions. I don't know where. I think I got them. I bought like a bulk lot of army men. These are Matchbox reproductions. These also came in like a box of like used army men that I bought for like $10. I got thousands of used army men. I got rid of all the Civil War soldiers that came with it. I have Lots of Vietnam soldiers. They're just your standard green army men. There's nothing crazy. Lots of them. Yeah, lots of knockoffs. I have my Matchbox collection. That's all stored away though in boxes. And I don't really have anything else. Hold on. So here's one of my containers full of painted and semi-painted guys. Like it's a lot of Afrika Korps I painted, some Wehrmacht, some Italian soldiers. A lot of these that are on the channel already, like stuff like this guy I just put out, and they're just all in this plastic container. So it's a lot of these types of things. And I have like a lot of Italeri little guys, 172 boxes of those. This is my collection of newer production Airfix Army men. I also have it's like German, British infantry, British paratroopers, U.S. paratroopers. These are probably the worst I've ever bought. They're mostly broken. The Gurkhas, I have 2 boxes of Gurkhas, and the German paratroopers as well. So that's like my Airfix collection that's still in box. I've taken some videos of these and shared them. But there's nothing too like exciting. I think the Matchbox stuff I have is the nicest, but that's all stored away. And pretty much everything you see in my shorts, I have like 5 shorts up that are Matchbox showcase, and that's my collection. Those are the army men I have. Then I've got model kits and like just random stuff. I have some of like these big guys that I bought. I've painted the other one. So I painted this guy, and I was gonna paint this guy too. He ended up coming out like so like derpy, his face, but I kind of love it. He's very unique. This guy's largely just spray paint, just black and then spray camo green on top, and then I painted the flame in the face. But I got this Native American to paint his face because it's got so much detail in it. So I'll get to that at some point as well. The U.S. paratroopers from Airfix, the vintage ones are probably great. The new reproduction ones, all the gun tips were broken, and they also were white. Like the color is white, which is weird. It's just a weird color. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna end the stream here for now. Yeah, feel free to drop any other questions you have in the comments after the video gets posted. I'll do my best to answer them as quickly as I can. And thank you so much for hanging out with me, Death Soldier. Everyone else who stopped by to say hi, I appreciate it a lot. I'll try and do this more as I can. Maybe try to aim for Mondays and Fridays those are kind of like my better days for this type of thing. But I'll try and give more advance notice too. Hopefully I can get into more of a schedule with posting and going live. So thank you everyone, and thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of your day.